poetry, the International Poetry Library, and do what you can to see that it progresses. Ready? This is a poem called Café Quetal. You came to Café Quetal at the intersection of oblivion and obscurity, feeling obvious, interesting, feeling 14, thinking about sex and parking, and not about your dying. Feeling like a macchiato and some poesy might be the off-ramp to eternity's freeway, and not the foggy easement off the service road where you dump the cat. You came to Café Quetal with your neural pathways looping information about your face from your childhood when the air was tighter out about your body and your skin was a mother that told you to play outside until dusk. What was dusk? And you rewarded her by being here in a cafe at night. Your face at 20 could be anything. Your face at 30, a person impersonated. Your face at 40, the one you must serve. Your face at 50, worked and working. Your face at 60, the one you deserve. You come to Café Quetal where you hear a voice say coffee, or don't lie to me, or lie to me but beautifully. There's a voice from 14 saying, I'll run naked in the snow if you'll notice me. Dear God, the poet says, pay attention to me. There's a voice in your head doing Dick Cheney, a voice doing a dead Kennedy. There's a voice saying, as long as you haven't experienced this, you are just a guest on the troubled earth. Your neural pathways loop information from the empire as sung by CNN. But there's another song sung by Leticia Hernandez and Tomas Riley that says cielo, says alma, says you didn't come here to be Cheney or think about parking or dying. You come here to Café Quetal to have a refill, or maybe another, but to get home safely and to look at your face in the mirror and to be glad you don't see Cheney, whose every third thought will be his death in the dusk of Wyoming. And what was it you heard at Café Quetal that was a curious puffing you heard that made new neural pathways? What left you feeling 14, interested, an idiot savant of sex and living? Here's to driving back and finding the cat where you dumped it, meowing like Cheney. Here's to dying, but assisted by poetry. Here's to lying, but beautifully. And just my luck not to be a coffee drinker. So this is from a book called The Other Lover. Makes a great bar mitzvah graduation gift. And it's in the voice of a poet that I've come to like, St. Vincent Millay, Edna St. Vincent Millay, who read a couple biographies recently, and she was I imagine her as a kind of a tough film noir kind of chick, finishing a cigarette, smoking. But one of her poems does end only until the cigarette is ended. And so this is in her voice. It's a bitter love poem. After saying, not me saying this, but St. Vincent Millay. And then, the idea is you see the beloved somewhere else, walking across the street. She got a new coat. The coat she had with you wasn't good enough, everything seems an insult, and you wish that she would be seeing you you have to see her, so you're, while you're skipping down the street. After St. Fitzmulae, when I saw you again, distant, sparrow-boned, under the elegant clothes you wear in your life without me, I thought, no, let her be the one, this time, to look up at an oblivious me. Let her find the edge of the cliff with her foot, blindfolded. Let her be the one struck by the lightning of the other, so that the heart is jolted from the ribs and the rest of the body is nothing but ash. It's a sad, familiar story I wish you were telling me with this shabby excuse. I never loved you any more than I hated myself for loving you. And about that other guy by your side you left me for, I hope he dies. I pour out my heart and you laugh, And this is the last poem of the evening, and thank you again for coming and support the International Poetry Library. This is called Devotion, Red Roof Inn. Have you ever stayed in the Red Roof Inn? Have you pleasure to stay there at the Red Roof Inn? And I guess you know that the remote control and the phone are the two most germy, horrible things you could ever touch, right? Isn't that? So I think that figures its way in there. Write like a lover. Write like you're leaving yourself for another. Write like you're de Beauvoir, object and subject. Write like you must rescue yourself from yourself. Become scrupulous to the body and the rain that floods you with rage and the crude sublimities. There is a lip print on the plastic glass wrapped in the mystic domestic interior of the room. Write like there's evidence, there's tenderness, like Paris were the scene of a crime. A lipstick by the bed, a phone number, a plastic glass with prints. The remote is toxic. At the Red Roof Inn, they couldn't recommend an alternative to suffering. Like lovers, we spoke of short-term, long-term knowledge, and the rest in the circle of hell the telephone allows. I want my piracy, I thought you said. The familiar doesn't travel well. The soul doesn't travel well. Poetry spoils. Write like your Mingus. Write like the evidence vanishes. Inflammable walls between devoted ghosts. Smoke and the convention of the fourth wall pulled down. Drama majors in the next room. The all-night opera with starling sounds. The Red Roof Inn hath me in thrall. The highway sounds like the sea in storm. Pirates with their perishable cargoes. Their ship goes down. The soul doesn't travel well. Write like the ship goes down with your belongings. Write like you're in thrall. We're blown around like Paula and Francesca, lovers, carnal, windy starlings, misled by the sublime, the binge and purge of the book and the body. I'm wildly attracted to you, winter and fall, when I fly the migration routes from Corpus Christi to St. Paul. Or is that summer? I do not travel well. I travel like a lover, boy king, or saboteur, stormed by the fluids of the body. I'm wildly attracted to your feathers, your lip and book. My greatest vows are in the getting at. I kneel to look under the bed for belongings. I've pirated myself. Thank you for the chance to fly, the leaving. Thank you for the soft pink tissue, your cargo of ghosts. The telephone is toxic. The body's a rumor. The leaf blower in the opera is over the top. Thank you for the brimming, Thanks for the speech acts and action, the alternative to suffering. Sorry for the hoarse sobs. I'm wild about the red noise of the traffic, the holy wars of the starlings. Flying back, all the songs are glistening. Flying back, the passenger in 5D is unwilling to rescue others, unwilling to rescue himself. Write like you've lost your belongings. Thank you.